Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 3 in a series. So far it is tied 1 game apiece in this best of 3 series. Killer spawning as the blue Zerg, meanwhile Illusion spawning as the pink Terran. Terran versus Zerg. Illusion having a rather strange opening, almost a Reaper Rush opening. Even going for an earlier supply depot to build that barracks down a little bit earlier. It all looked rather strange, to be honest, as I haven't seen a Reaper Rush like that since they required a supply depot in order to build a barracks. We'll see how all of this will work out in just a moment. Illusion spawning here as the pink Terran player at the 4 or 5 o'clock position. Meanwhile, Killer spawning as the blue Zerg on the bottom left-hand side at the 7 or 8 o'clock position on Tall Dream Altar. Overlords now in transit, and we'll see who has the advantage. Illusion should be able to easily put down pressure on Killer's third here, as the third base has a very wide ramp, has a much wider ramp, actually about the same size ramp here, but is not nearly as easy to defend as there isn't a high ground cliff over here, so the units can simply walk up the ramp under the cover of siege tanks and try to push up that ramp and deal damage. Illusion so far not going for an early gas, so he may be going for a command first build. Command center after the barracks without gas. It does work out well. We've also, however, seen Illusion go for a 15 gas after a scout, so he may be trying to do that as well, but that's a little bit more tricky and only really pays off if your opponent knows that you are not going for gas. Illusion finishing off his barracks now, upgrading to an orbital command, training up a marine. Meanwhile, back over here, the hatchery is about 40% done. Now, as a drone, still doing its work, scouting out. Front door, adding a supply depot in order to wall off this location here, preventing any zergling or roach run-bys, as the Overlord finally knows where his opponent is and is going to try to find or park himself in a location where he can intercept drops, perhaps down over here. One marine now on the ramp. The drone thinks better than to try to scout out that location, as an SCV now wandering around here. Marines and SCV looking to perhaps establish a bunker. It is going to be 2 SCVs, 2 Marines, a 3rd Marine on the way, as we are now going into double refinery by Illusion in order to catch up in this build. SCV going to make their way up the ramp and take down and just take down an Overlord here. We do see Marines are back over here as well. Zerglings are trying to make their way out. The Zerglings need to get taken care of, and more Zerglings are going to be trained. However, the bunker does take quite a bit of time to complete. You can see that it still takes another 20 seconds. More Marines need to be added. And what is going to be happening as the SCVs once again trying to repair? The SCV taking a lot of slashing damage from that one queen as the Zerglings battle it out with Marines. Another Zergling goes down. And who is going to win out on this fight? The Zerglings have superior numbers, and down it goes. This one Marine needs to finish off perhaps 1 or 2 Zerglings to make it worth it. No damage dealt, and Killer now, knowing that he can power drone behind this, should be able to train up about 7 to 10 drones in the next minute. Command center looking to be completed. You can see that the Zerglings are trying to run up that ramp, unable to do so. Some damage as they were getting up that ramp there. Not quite sure who actually got... Oh, there's the kill there, as the Zerglings going to start swarming the top side here. This one bunker is very much exposed. SCV now pulling back. What's going to happen as the SCVs are engaging as well? The SCVs acting as a little bit of a meat shield, as we now see more barracks being placed down as well. These Zerglings of Killer just running rabid inside the base, and now forcing a lot of stoppage on the mining as Illusion continues to fall further and further behind. Already behind by 11 food. Illusion being very smart, just telling his SCVs to hold position as they made a wall to protect those Marines. Zergling's now attempting the chase after units here. Marine's going to jump inside that bunker. Zergling's going to try to engage, but they are not going to find any window of opportunity. But Killer should really be going for heavy drones now, droning up and getting a 12 drone advantage. Zergling's now swarming in at the main base. SCVs once again not mining. That is always a very sad day whenever your harvesters are not mining. They're preventing you from being able to do anything really else, as Zergling's still cleaning up and dealing a lot of damage at the natural expansion. Illusion is at 38 over 38. It's currently supply blocked, finally getting up a supply depot. Marines and SCVs now making their way off, as it looks like all of the Zerglings. No, Zerglings are still running rabid inside the base. There is a group of 4 Marines. This Zergling's days are numbered, and there it goes. 55 to 38 after the dust settles. Killer down to 25 harvesters compared to 48. Illusion almost at double the harvester count now, as we now see even more Zerglings being added. Also a macro hatch being placed down by Killer. Very common now in order to allow Zerg players to get more larvae and fight off and be a little bit defensive in the beginning. Getting in more Zerglings. Zerglings generally very effective, especially in mass. Zerglings looking to take down the destructible rocks here on the bottom left-hand side. Rocks should fall in just a moment. And this is where I wish Illusion was really trying to vary up his gameplay a little bit more. I haven't seen any tech lab on the factory yet. That most likely means that he is not going to be going for any siege tanks. And he really does need those siege tanks in order to deal with the ground army. He simply just didn't have enough in his previous game. And he didn't have enough Marines to really cover. And it really felt like once the siege tanks were gone, the entire attack force just was much, much weaker. Marines, Hellions now simply waiting on the front door. Illusion is behind by 5 food. Meanwhile, Harvester count shows he is behind by a lot more food. Army count, surprisingly, Illusion just slightly ahead, not too much, as the production tab also shows a lot of Zerglings being trained as well. It looks like we're having a game of add-on swap here in Illusion's base. So far, we have 3 reactors all on barracks. We should be getting up a reactor on that starport at some time, as the Marines and Hellions looking to push over here. One Overlord quickly going to get taken down. Hellions and Zerglings now trying to come in. The Zerglings going after the Marines, going after all the Banelings, able to focus fire them, but still not going to be enough to finish off the rest of the Zerglings. The Zerglings attack very quickly, even without the level 1 weapons upgrade, dealing a large amount of damage. Now, it looks like Killer is going to be coming in for that counter attack here. That front door is fairly fragile, especially if Banelings have movement speed upgrades. We can see that we are going into a refinery. There are Marines hidden in the bushes. And is it going to be enough? More and more Mutalisk being added to that Mutalisk ball. We saw how effective that was in Game 1, as Illusion now needs to figure out how he's going to defend Game 2. Trying to shut down expansions. It looks like he will be able to do exactly that. This hatchery already down to 700 some odd hit points, and now going to get killed by more Zerglings. (94 to 116). Mutalisk now looking to push in. 2 Marines there ready to welcome and greet it. Missile turret now in play as well, getting off 2 quick shots of those longboat missiles, almost taking the Mutalisk out of the sky. Now, I really like this play by Illusion. I like the fact... Sorry, I really like this play by Killer. I like the fact that he's expanding into a normally non-expanded area and making Illusion think that he is only stuck on 3 bases by feigning to want to take this. Every time he feigns this, the Marines are all gathering themselves over here and are able to just sit there sit there and defend this low ground expansion when the time and need comes. Zerglings and Mutalisks about to make their way off over here. The siege tank's going to finish off the rocks. And now if those Mutalisks and those Zerglings engage, that would be very bad news, as that attack force is rather devastating and forces Illusion to pull back. Bunkers now being reestablished by Illusion to make sure that both the mineral lines and no run-bys are possible. You can see Illusion now behind by 22 food only, and this is a great job for Illusion. Illusion knows that the longer he can get up to a 200 food army, the better it will be for him, as he's going to be able to keep his all right, I don't even know where my thought was going with that one. All right, focus on the game. Wow. All right, getting back into here. Killer now just getting all of these Mutalisks, and he's trying to poke and harass. Illusion does have a couple missile turrets up, but with these missile turrets and their placement, they're not really covering each other, and because of the sheer number of Mutalisks, the Mutalisk can fly within that close range, and after taking 2 or 3 shots, take down that missile turret without any serious issue. Marines are off over here. They are stimmed, or they are not stimmed. They do have stim research, and they're just gonna come in here straight up and destroy the Overlords. Down they go. Meanwhile, Mutalisk trying to finish off a missile turret, able to do so, and now take down some of these production buildings. Marines going after the spine crawlers. This is not going to work out well, especially with the sheer number of Zerglings finishing off that fight there. And I don't even believe a queen was taken out, as the Mutalisks are still going to town here. Mutalisks taking out much of the important add-ons here. Factory did take a little bit of damage as well, I believe. Not anything too large, as Illusion now with what the missile turret finally getting a kill, and even adding in some Thors for protection. The command center will be upgraded most likely to a planetary fortress. Liftoff land here. It is going to be 3 bases to 4 unless Illusion is able to establish that command center, as we have Zerglings holding the Zelnaga towers, and Killer with also a 6 base up, unable to transfer any drones over there as of yet. Going to transfer initially 7 drones and try to train up a bit more, perhaps even getting a queen there in order to help that drone production. Harvester count 75 to 65. Illusion now with a 30 food deficit in his army, about to engage, and Killer now at max. So Killer needs to strike while he knows he has the advantage. He is now just moving in with these Mutalisks, causing so much harassment. Barracks has been destroyed. Now perhaps trying to take down the factory. Marines unable to deal any serious damage as well, as the Marines are once again going to stim over and not make it in time. Command center of Illusion now ready to go. We can see Zerglings are now trying to push in across the center. Marines now attempting to run away. Banelings are going to find their target and take down and melt away so many... Wow. And melt away so many Marines there, and Illusion leaves the game. So Illusion perhaps a bit upset there, not quite sure how to follow up after taking the initial victory. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.